Hey, Nabi here. In this video, I'm going to be going over the patch notes for the game Kinggodcastle 3.8.3. As always, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, like the videos, it helps me out a lot. And it is not the Eldor event skin, boys. It is not. I'm assuming it's going to be next event. They were kind of on a time clock because it's kind of like it can only fit really in the next event. So keep on saving those gems, you will not regret it. But it is the Fairy Tale Festival event. Today we're going to be going over the patch notes on the neighbor cafe because that actually has some more information on it. So we're gonna be going over that. There's a pretty meaty update, man. There's a pretty, so let's just go into it so the video doesn't get into too long, you know what I'm saying? So it is Rossette season. This skin, I am all for the Death Knight vibe. This is awesome. I love this. I love this. So Rossette season 31, of course. New animations, sound effects. We can't see sound effects yet. The skin is actually not out currently, so I can't really show you as usual in game. So that's just gonna have to be in a spotlight later, you know what I'm saying? But this skin, okay, it's not as flashy as your Ren, you know what I'm saying? Or your Herang for sure, but it is pretty good. Now I wonder if there's an execute animation when she actually kills somebody. You know, I wish, hoping, but that's pretty awesome. Okay, so that's the BP skin. So Fairy Tale Festival, let's go. It links to here. And yeah, so Fairy Tale Festival, you guys know the gist. This is a returning event with new skins and such like that, and returning skins. So if you missed out on the previous Fairy Tale Festival skins, you can get them now. This is all same stuff. Great riff, you know, hey, it's just telling you that you can get event tokens from playing the game, right? So the returning BP skins are Hansi. So if you missed out on this one, you can get that. And then, you know, that's the effect if you don't know already. The Fire Zalbai skin. Oh yes, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this one. This skin is pretty amazing. Look at this. So good, so good. So you can get that existing Fairy Tale skin. So the Nutcracker Armus, the Red Riding Hood Tia, Priya, the Wonderland one, Snow White Princess, and then and of course Hansi Confession is the Zalbai one. Okay, so that is it for the event. So let's go back to the main update. So this is a huge change to arena mode. So they're actually touching arena mode. Well, they've touched it before, but not to this extent. This is probably the first effort to changing it, right? So they're adding this thing called the Grand Arena, adjusting stuff basically. So a stage for users with this Grand Arena thing applies to 2,000 points and above. So 2,000 points is king level, right? And yeah, so we're actually gonna go over to the official here. So let me turn on the official. So let's go to this. So enter the Grand Arena. So now you have these effects for when you enter the Grand Arena. So your score will not fall below 2,000 points. So you are guaranteed king tier, right? So you can't go below 2,000 once you reach there. You have a score. You have decay essentially, right? You have your decay, so you can't just sit in King God now and just chill. So your score would decrease if you do not participate in battle for 72 hours or longer. This is going to be very interesting. And then the most interesting is seasonal effects applied. These special effects will be applied according to the hero's active regions and classes. You know those regions and classes that they added in Dominion? Guess what? They are coming back and they are making an appearance in Grand Arena. So now there's this bonus effect that you can actually, you know, get based on that, you know, classes and where they're coming from, right? So now triple arena tokens, that's awesome. Rank, so this is blind pick now, okay? So depending on your rank and you know, it's over 10 rounds, right? So odd even, so based on where you're at, you actually is blind pick, so you can actually see the person, their score, but you don't see their team. This is very interesting, very interesting. So let's go back to the cafe. Okay, so we're having the cafe. Let's read the rest of this. So a change is photos, a reduced fatigue for Arena Light user, prevents accessibility, strengthen, okay, blah blah blah, okay, enhance diversity. So this is the triple arena tokens that they changed now. I believe it used to be double, now it's triple, so that's pretty good. King rank demotion removed, so now you can't demote below 2,000 once you've reached there. So there's an incentive to actually reach there, and once you reach there, you're locked into that bracket, so to speak, and you can't drop below. So this actually helps out the bottom type of player. So if you're below 2,000, then you're not going to be, most likely you're not going to be seeing those players that have like full awakened teams at like bronze tier. You know, so this actually helps out the bottom tier of the arena bracket. So I love this change. I love this change. So decrease arena door. So this is pretty much decay, right? So you're not allowed to just sit in your score, and you actually have to fight. So this is pro and con, you know. This forces you to play, you know, and you can't just sit there. So a lot of people nowadays, what they do is when the arena mode shows up in the beginning of the new season, they just grind for like 6 hours or something, like, and then you get hit King God, and then you literally just sit there. You get rank 1 King God, get like 2,900 points, 3k, you know, maybe, and then you just sit there for the rest of the season, and then at the end, maybe you're lucky, you get top 10, right? Usually it doesn't really happen anymore because of how crazy arena is right now, but this prevents that. This is going to be a huge factor, decay. Now this is another one. So Grand Arena blind matching. So to prevent the upward leveling of arena scores, a rule has been added so that opponent information can't be checked before you do it. So depending on your score range, this is your rank score, okay? So 2,000 is your king rank, and you know, like, you know, King God and all this stuff. So depending on your range, you have blind picks. So the amount of blind picks that you have, it depends on your rank. So I'm assuming this is King God, this rating right here. So 2 out of the 3 matches are blind, and then the rest, the lower scores, you kind of have this, like, sometimes is 1 out of 3 is blind, sometimes 2 out of 3 is blind, every, like, depending on what round you are in your team. So 10 rounds, right? Odd, even, right? So yeah, this is very interesting. Very interesting. I'm definitely gonna try arena, definitely, again, even though the meta is like kind of stale, you know, but this adds a lot more, you know. It's intriguing. It's intriguing. Okay, so the Grand Arena season effect. So this is really big. This is actually not on the English update. So the Grand Arena of King or level are higher in the league is most skilled users in. Okay, so this is a look at what some of the effects could mean. So there are right now there are 2 right now for class and region. So the top one is that shadow one. So this one is for every shadow hero that you have, it's an 8% attack boost with a maximum of 40%. So you want to use shadow type heroes on your team, or your carry at least. That's a nice one, right? So the next one is the southern region. This increases the damage dealt and receive by all southern region units by 20%. So we can kind of get a glimpse at what kind of effects that we're looking at, and that's pretty crazy, man. This is interesting. I'm looking forward to this. Next one. So now it starts kind of getting a little confusing because they're doing a lot of hero balancing and stuff, but like they can't really put it in a regular like buff nerf kind of format because it's about like formula changes and stuff. So they change flat into percent a lot of the times in the recent history. So they're trying to update everything else along with it, right? So a lot of it is, from what I understand, they are changing a lot of the text to make more sense. At least, or well, text in some cases it actually kind of change it. So Hansi, like how's this Chinese? The Google, thanks Google Translate. But this is Hansi, right? So in Hansi's specific case, they are actually buffing her. From what I understand, they are buffing. So for concentrate, her basic, so usually it's 5%, and I believe it is capped at 4 seconds, right? So if she stands still for 4 seconds, then you reach the maximum efficiency for her ability, which is so 20%, right? So attack, so they actually change it to attack power increase by 20%, and then that goes by 4, so now it's 80%. So that is really big, right? So that is a buff to Hansi. And from what I understand, besides Hansi, everything else is pretty much a text change, kinda, or pretty much. Okay, I'm gonna say pretty much. So this is the same. Unless I'm reading it wrong, it's the same. This stays the same. Isn't this what it normally is? I don't know. Somebody who knows more than me can correct me, but I believe that is the same, maybe. And then these are literally just text changes. Like they literally just reword it to make more sense, less wordy, right? So like before Rossette, like for example, Rossette level 4 potential was like reduces all damage from the attacking target or something by 20% or something like that. So now they just say minus 20% damage taken for the attacking target, right? So they're just kind of normalizing it, and that applies to all of these. Okay, so next one. So these are kind of text changes, but are actually subtle. I don't know, but like it says, so characteristics and potentials of heroes that are naturally multiplicative are changed from summation to multiplication. So when I see summation to multiplication, that means it's a buff. So I'm assuming this is a slight buff, right? So they're trying to like, they're Awesome Piece is kind of like in this phase of like changing flats into percent and like just buffing everything, the craziness, right? So they are changing this, but in specific case of Hela, okay, Hela, her level 4 potential is insane, by the way. So it was 66%. So they actually are nerfing it. Okay, this is an actual nerf to 50%. I believe it's a nerf. So if they're well, I mean. Oh, so if it's 66%, bro, I'm not a math head. Somebody that knows better can tell me, but 50, I'm gonna go out of the way and say that we're not gonna see that much change in regular play. I guess so. Evan's first awakening is not really used. It's like the second one's always used, pretty much. So I don't know. So this one, Jupiter is always good. Chang'e first one, people use it anyways. No one uses this. Well, I use the second one. I mean, no one ever uses the first one. Hela, she's great. I don't know. She's always great. This is Kathy. Ricochet, people still use Kathy. So, I mean, it doesn't really change the fact that they are used or unused. So, you know, take it what it is, you know? So, this is balance adjustments. So these are balances, boys. These are balances. This is where it gets kind of interesting. So Holy Grenade, I mean, I've used it. It's gotten better, okay? It's gotten better. So, this is the thing that when a unit dies, people use it with like Mara, or like you can use it with Ride dolls, right? So now it doesn't reduce mana anymore. Now it removes both. This is a Mighty Block and Spell Defense. This is the Gidnil shield, Spell Shield, right? So this is Mighty Block and Spell Shield. So now it actually removes Mighty Block and Spell Shield. That is pretty freaking big. Now the biggest, and then like mana charge suppression for 3. So yeah, I mean it scales now. So but the big question is, does this apply to Blood Boss in raids? I'm going to assume this applies to Blood Boss in raids. I'm gonna throw it out there. It's gonna apply to raid bosses. So this might be a meta pick for raids. That I'm gonna say it. Like Holy Grenade might be the meta pick for raids for Blood Boss. I don't know if the DPS for third relic. I mean, with 3 relics, it is possible that this is a go-to now. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying, bro. So yeah, look out for that for potential experimented blood boss raids. Holy grenade removes that mighty block from blood boss. It's gonna be pretty good if it does. So yeah, so this is what I like about Neighbor Cafe too. It has all these like texts, right? The flavor text of their design process and stuff. So Holy Grenade has been reworked. The Holy Grenade was difficult to use well because of the trigger condition of when an ally died, and it was actually a poor artifact as relic. As a result, the impact effect of the shockwave has been completely changed so that you can try the Holy Grenade from a new perspective. From a new perspective, you know, like in. Yeah, there are a lot, you know, with the changes in mighty blocks and things like that, it has definitely shifted the game a lot with the change in how, like, you know, mighty blocks function and things like that. So removing, like, I thought it should do this in the first place. So now it is, and it's actually like, it's like, oh, you know, we can actually use this since we have Void, and that's the meta right now. So makes sense. Now this is you know, everyone foresaw this coming. Flat to a %. Thank you. I've always loved glove relic. This is the OG. I love it. This is what made me love the game and raid so much in the beginning, is like, oh man, like this is my Exodia, you know, like I love that. I love that effect. I can put it together and you're like, yes, you know, it's very satisfying. Now it's %. It's amazing. I'm glad to see its return. So let's see. So star, so glove also changed from absolute increase before attack. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So flat to %, right? Buffing in the end. However, it has been adjusted to be similar to the existing camps that use Luniare heroes. So adjust the star rating by stage. So, I mean, this is a buff overall. I think it's better, but we will see later why this. I mean, it's really good. Okay, it's really good, but other things are getting nerfed. So, yeah, this is really good. It's really good. So hero balancing. So Shelda, buff. So green is buff, right? So more shield, more health. Cool. Shelda is one of the late game oriented tanks whose damage increases the more she uses her skills. However, at the moment of the recent high damage, you think it cannot withstand early stages. I don't know. There are many units that cannot withstand early stages, so the tier is somewhat lowered. Armor, which is a piece of equipment that increases basic health and grants shield, has been changed. Increase health appropriately, raise related attributes. So more health means that the shield, you know, the armors that you put on her, and you know, will get more health, etc. Right? Shelda buff, love to see it. Hansi buff, love to see it. So Awakening 1, heavy rain. Now it's 150% damage. She also had a buff on her second awakening, right? Concentrate. So Hansi, representative late game hero. Hansi is an interesting. She's definitely. I hope she comes back. Has a mechanism gradually increases damage. However, in the current arena meta, there are many heroes with high damage to the point where the return of risk and return in an hour seems small. Therefore, through the buff of the first awakening ability and the second awakening ability, by changing the calculation formula of the above items so that the return of 1 hour is sufficient to increase. Many heroes with high damage is definitely, yeah, that is very true. That is very true, bro. That is very true. Okay, Luniare. This is the most controversial one. Oh man. So Luniare Nerf. I always, you know, my favorite hero in the whole game is Luniare. I mean, like, but I love her. She needed to get nerfed or adjusted. Okay, so so she buffs. If you guys don't know who Luniare is, she's probably one of the best, the only buffing support like that actually like enhances your offensive capabilities on your carry hero, right? So they are nerfing how much that buff is by a lot, by the way. So like 90. So tier 1. This is tier 1. Okay, 100. Okay, so let's see. So tier 3 and 4 is the same as a tier 1 and 2 as before. Okay, so let's look at the end. So tier 7 Luniare, 120%. You're not even reaching the previous tier 5 and 6, the 130. So that's insane. It's just it's a nerf overall. Like this nerf is insane. Like it affects literally everything, at least in game. Okay, so it affects everything, like literally everything, because Luniare is the unit when you are doing everything in game pretty much. So let's see what they have to say. Luniare is one of the heroes who dominated the meta for the longest time. Yes, Luniare's efficiency is transferring numbers so good and is not suitable for small factions and DPS measurement modes. It was the #1 spot that should never be missed. Even Luniare's equipment efficiency is better than that of the main dealing hero. Yes, there are cases where it grows even more. Yes, of course, this downgrade is still 120%. They're talking about this one. So the tier 7 150 is to 120. That's what they're talking about, which is higher than 100%. So the above is still valid. In the above content, it is believed that Luniare will continue to be used in the future. Yes, she will. Trust me, she is going to be a staple forever. I don't see her going away. So, however, the gap between those who use Luniare and those who don't will shrink. Will shrink? I don't think so, man. People will still use Luniare. Stacking, I believe stacking will shrink. Using a 1 copy of Luniare will not. I don't think so. But again, this is a nerf to I would say the entire game. But is it am I for it? I'm gonna say yes. I'm actually for this change. I always thought that she needed to be nerfed. This kind of nerf, but also like AWESOMEPIECE was actually nice about it. If I wanted to actually nerf stacking Luniares, so changing this, but also changing the efficiency instead of for those of you guys who've been playing a while, the 50% efficiency was never there in the beginning, and those numbers were pretty big. But you know, granted, we only had two relics and like limited to, we didn't have void at the time. Okay, so it wasn't 50% efficiency. They nerfed her by putting a 50% stacking efficiency on her. I still think they should put it to 25%. Yes, I know I'm a little harsh, but I feel like she should actually have these numbers, the nerf numbers, with 25% efficiency on stacking Luniares. That is just me, but I feel like that is that's to me that's better. But yes, this is a little slat. She is my favorite hero, man. Okay, but I always thought she needed to get nerfed, bro. But yeah. So there it is. Joel, he is just getting buffs, bro. So Joel is one of the most difficult heroes to balance. Versatile, many abilities, so even small nerfs can make a difference. For this reason, it's somewhat passively balanced, but the effective immunity, which is considered exclusive property, more and more common. The damage itself is slightly lower than other heroes, so we are upgrading it. They are Joel meta. I'm telling you, there's gonna be I mean, Joel's still being used, but he is. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Joel buff, Kanak buff. Who would have thought? So they reduces his mana cost to 45. That is not enough for him to be. I mean, it's better. They put him in line of 3 auto attacks, use skill, right? So 45 mana is 3 auto attacks, right? So Kanak is the hero that needs constant change and tweaking. Yes, he needs to be revamped. For sure, I agree. It is a hero with high potential, but his utilization is not clear. Literally, he is a hero with an extreme gap between unsuccessful and unsuccessful. The dev team is undergoing adjustments several times to get Kanak on the right track. I will continue to keep an eye. Yeah, so we're in a ride for a Kanak rework, boys. So this change is just like, hey, we're doing something. Look forward to the future. All right, so next we have Ian, man. Ian, boy, you might look at this and say, dang, he got buffed. Well, he did kind of get buffed. Okay, so you're like, AWESOMEPIECE, what are you thinking, man? He's broken. Freaking Ian. So I'm glad they didn't clip his legs. Okay, they didn't clip his legs. He is still a real boy. So let's look at this. Attack power increased by 50%. So more base. His base attack power was already pretty high. It's even higher now. But his skill, his percent skill, that like his skill increases by the percent of his spell power, right? So that coefficient was 100% before. Now it's 10%. Okay, so it's worse, but they increase his base ability power by 5 times. So yeah, so finally reduced. So he has more base SP. Okay, so let's see. Ian became a tier 1 hero as soon as he launched with very high attack power, yes, ability power, efficiency, and excellent utility skills. Yeah, it's obvious that it needs to be downgraded because it looks great in a lot of content and a lot of more like every content. Okay, let's change this to every single content, but the early sections are better than the high star sections. We want to balance it together by making up for the weakness of being too weak. Ian is now stronger in the early game and less strong in the late game. I can see that. So so when you use Ian, just Ian by itself, you know, granted, I've used Ian by himself like a couple times, but it's good, but it's not like the crazy like what you see everywhere like in arena and stuff. It's not like crazy, right? And guess who makes Ian like crazy? Luniare. And guess what? Luniare got nerfed. But even with the Luniare nerf, Ian is still gonna be Ian. But it's just that his early game low tier now it's a lot better, but his late game is not like, his ceiling is not as crazy astronomically high as before, but he's still gonna be pretty good. So I still think he needs to get nerfed. Yeah, he needs to get nerfed, dude. I'm gonna say it. He might need to get toned down a little more. I think the base attack increase is that's a little much, man. I mean, this is fine. I think this is a little, I mean, it is depending on how you think about it. I'm not a math head, you can tell me, but this is because of this too. There's a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna say he is still going to be great. I'll say that he's still gonna be great. He's not, I don't think he's gonna be able to hit like the 30 plus million damage now, definitely with the Luniare nerf and this adjustment. So he is still a really good hero. I'm gonna say he's still a really good hero. He's just not gonna be like the ceiling that he was hitting previously of this patch is, I don't think you're gonna be able to get that anymore. So yeah, Ian, still a real boy. This is the summon thing. So Ian, and well, now you can get her, right? If you guys have any, don't spend gems on this, by the way. If you have that special summon scroll, I guess you can do that. Oh yeah, fairy tale skins. Oh man, this update is long, man. So this is the Esthea skin. So let's look at it. Nice. Is pretty good. She's throwing an apple. That's a good skin. I like that. This is the Hook Mara skin, and those are the 2 current event skins that will be coming out. Pretty good. So bug fixes. I don't think there's any. I find this one the best. I think this is the best note of this whole patch. Fixed a bug where the skill damage increase of Laika's second awakening ability was not applied to the first skill immediately after transformation. This is the most, I think this is the best one. This is the best one. Now, I've tried to make Laika's second ability. First of all, who uses it? And second of all, I didn't think it was supposed to apply on the first skill immediately after transformation. I always thought it actually, anyway, this is another topic, but this is very interesting that it applies on the first skill immediately after transformation. It was a bug. So I'm glad that was that. I mean, Hey, I'm always for the like a second awakening ability builds, you know, like it's the most fun. No one ever uses like anymore, man. Come on, bring back my boy. Bring back my boy. Anyway, that is the update. Man, this was pretty long. This is pretty freaking long, man. So yeah, Rossette, let me know in the comments below what you think about the buffs, the changes, you know, what you're looking forward to. And yeah, maybe next event, maybe fingers crossed, Eldor event with a new collab skin is on its way. Anyways, thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.